Stargate Hellraiser here. This one is a little bit different. Unfortunately, I guess I've really had to step up and basically take a little bit of a statement here with respect to something that went down this afternoon during the end of the broadcast of Limit Break Radio on Sunday, January the 24th, 2016, episode 48, I believe it is. I popped in about 20 minutes before the end of the show. I actually got up a little bit late and started listening to the show, and once again heard Aniero basically ranting on and on about needing EP and this and that and all the other. And at that point, I made what was supposed to be a one-off comment about my Get Good is Dead theory. This begins an exchange, and eventually Mr. Scurro, who has been one of my major nemeses on it other than Mr. Grigori, basically said I wanted to get out the soapbox for the filthy fucking casuals. Well, okay, I did. For 2 hours. Aniero was sick of me, and I don't fucking blame him. I can't be on Final Fantasy XIV in his space. He's going to have to get Square Enix to throw me off this game. It's that motherfucking simple. Okay? He has challenged me to appear on the show next week, and if it can be done in a way that will not disrespect the people I live with, both within my space and outside it, I got no problem with it. But I know what's going to happen. One, he's going to put me on blast. He's going to put me on the show to smack me out. Two, he's going to start screaming at me, knowing I really can't go over the top of him as far as screaming at him. What he's liable to have happen to him if I do this is I'm just going to basically put my headphones down. I'm just going to keep talking. We'll see how long he wants to continue the fucking call then. And that's if I decide to do it at all. That said, the proof that Get Good is dead is right there in fucking front of you, Limit Break Radio fans, and Aniero, and Nika, who I lost all respect for, by the way. So you're one of those 6, 8, 18 people that was in on that first Pandemonium Warden kill. Well, then you know what? Fuck you, Nika. Seriously. And if you go back to my Final Fantasy XI blog, I may even go ahead and find the article when Square Enix actually gave you guys a pat on the back for it. I put them on blast. Your fucking tactic for Pandemonium Warden, which basically rendered all your other Pandemonium Warden kills invalid, because you should have been banned, the lot of you, for that logging out bullshit, was game exploit. It not only exploited Pandemonium Warden's code, it exploited the game itself. So you know what? No. You lose, you get nothing. Good day, man. But the fact of the matter is, Aniero, this is why I don't want your thing to succeed. This is why I don't want Get Good to succeed. I cannot be in that world. They will need to expel me from Final Fantasy XIV forcefully, violently if necessary. But the fact of the matter is, you son of a bitch, you turn this game into EPing, you turn this game into competition, you turn this game into everything else. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get Blue Gutter-led Final Fantasy XI, and I ain't going to let that happen as long as I have a word to say about it. I don't give a fuck what platform you have. I really don't. This game was built for the filthy fucking casuals. This game was built and designed not to be what the North American community turned Final Fantasy XI into. And on top of that, most of the North American players are too stupid to tie their own goddamn shoes. I've got several videos on YouTube on that already. And then one that basically indicates that there's almost nobody really wanting to clear the content. I noticed the only people that are bitching for new content are basically people who consider themselves pretty goddamn good and want to basically have more content to lord over everybody else and to control. What the fuck do you want? Do you want to go back to what 11 was? Son, that happens. And my very presence in the fan base becomes dangerous, as it did in 11. As you damn well know it in 11, because here's something that only the people right now on the chat exchange that I had know. There was another Limit Break Radio Network show called Elegantly Edwith. It was kind of an eclectic little side show that one of the more eclectic members of the LBR community did, named Edwith. He came up to me in Final Fantasy XI, right around the LM17 salvage bans, knowing that I was basically the main white knight that Aniero Infusion and his group basically were against when they were doing their shows about this, including a very prominent Limit Breaking News that was one of the largest that was done for any of the Final Fantasy XI shows. Well, Edwith wanted my side. He'd have gotten it too, except for one problem. Aniero, as is his right, told Edwith in no uncertain terms, I will not put that man on the show. I will not upload the video with anything of him on the show. So now he wants to have me on the show so he can roast me a goddamn new one. Son, unless you got some beef or some guns, you ain't got no authority on me, you son of a bitch. I'll tell you that straight up. That's not a threat. That's just basically what you're going to have to do. I've been around the block a few times, as you probably should well know. If we do this, I fully expect you to try to blast me. And countermeasures will be taken. The person I made reference to in the chat is aware that I may do this. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to spend the next few minutes kind of just going over a few points, a little love letter for you, as far as why Get Good is so dead. Number one, the only people that are complaining about the content are people wanting more content to lord over people with. Everything I've heard from you for weeks and weeks and weeks on end is I want competition, I want EP, I want glory gear, I want all this. No, you want Final Fantasy XI circa Blue Garden, you son of a bitch. And fuck you too, Sonoma. And I'm being very serious with you. I'm being very serious with you. You want this environment because you enjoy it. And frankly, I see that in the streams you do. You enjoy this shit. You get off on this kind of shit. That's not going to happen as long as I have anything to say about it. And I may not. But at that point, Square Enix is going to have to remove me from this community forcefully, if not violently. Secondly, another reason Get Good is dead is because of the fact no one's clearing the content to begin with. Why do you think the only real content expansion that has taken any degree, yeah, we had the diadem and airships, but that's largely died. You know about the only other real content expansion we've had since Heavensward? You know it. Lords of Verminion. Casual content, nothing to do with the game. So you've got to make a fucking decision. If you want more content, you can't have this player base. Square Enix knows, this is number 3, Square Enix knows from 255 and the Steps of Faith nerf, I think it's like 257, I think it was. But they know where their bread is buttered. That wasn't a nerf of Square Enix, of Steps of Faith. That was taking Vishap, turning him over, and castrating him in front of the game community. Why? Because number 4, the players are just too goddamn stupid. You can tell them what they need to do, and they still won't do it. Whether they're trolling you, simply can't, doesn't matter. I'm going to be as honest with you as I can, Aniero. I lost all respect for the Limit Break Radio community today. What I had left, and it was growing over the course of maybe 3 to 6 months. But now I'm about back to basically that whole area after that little exchange with Edwith. I'm back to, you guys are insomnia relief at this point. Because I'll tell you right now, the proof is right there in front of you. You are now forced as a community to isolate yourselves to play with each other. That is a penalty you pay for being good. And as such, if that is the case, it should be treated as a terms of service violation on the rest of us. If you believe half the shit you've been spewing for God knows how long. So, I'll consider your offer. We'll see. But I wanted to give you basically this video, or this audio more than anything, just to say, hey, look, it's right there in front of you. If you choose not to believe it, you can go right ahead. Such as your right. I have a right to tell you can go kiss my ass. You can go fuck off as far as I'm concerned, if that's what you believe. And you believe it. I know. So here's the thing. I'm going to continue with my Get Good is Dead videos. I'm going to continue basically stating that Get Good is dead. If you don't want to hear that on your chat, you cannot have me logging into your chat on Twitch. It's that goddamn good and simple. You can't have me there. That's the same as the official forums, the same as Blue Garter, it's the same as even the Tartar Times online. I have been banned from every meaningful forum, message board, or what have you, in almost every fandom I've ever had. I really don't give a shit. You're wrong, Aniero. Let me give you an idea of the 2 steps you would need to take to make getting good mean anything. There's 2 steps. Number 1, actually 3. 3 steps. The first of the 3 is you would literally have to get rid of the duty finder. I disrupt your game if I'm on your data center. Because you can end up with me. At that point, why do I care if I'm a donkey? What good is it for me to improve when most of the players can't even tie their own goddamn shoes? They're too stupid. Second, you will need another calamity at the end of 3.x. You will need a replay of the 1.x finish, another calamity, and basically the entire game world rewritten at 4.x. And at that point, you don't even get out of the starter cities without some degree of skill. And then 3, you're going to have to blow up the North American player community. Arthur's chart showed it. You want people that know what the fuck they're doing? You need to find people, you need to force it on them. That's not something they're going to do. They don't have the time, they don't have the consistent time, they don't really fucking care. The numbers are already there in front of you. If you choose not to believe them, that ain't my fucking fault. I've rambled on long enough, at least for now. I'm going to cut this here. It'll get posted at some point early in the week. And then at that point, I'll make a consideration as to what I do with respect to Aniero's offer to challenge him on the show so that he can try to blast my ass. Which he will. He'll blast my ass. Neither of us are going to convince the other. I get it. Well, you know what? Fine by me. But the fact of the matter is, unless you're willing to actually do something about it, to eliminate me from this game, you got no power over me, son of a bitch. Stargate Hellraiser, Exodus server, I'll see you soon. But it may be at a time of my choosing, not yours, Aniero. Don't worry, we'll talk at some point.